Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown live results and your 205 live results. Also, birthdays for May 22nd. Scott Putski turned another year older. Brian Pillman would have been another year older. He was born in 1962. May 25th, birthdays. Sergeant Slaughter, May 24th, birthdays. Former WWE and TNA star Elijah Burke turned 40 years old. As Pope was recently backstage with the last couple of weeks at SmackDown event. May 23rd, birthdays. Alex Shelley, he was born in 1983. Bray Wyatt on the 23rd, he was born in 1987. May 25th, other birthdays. El Macias, Ricky Banderas, he was born in 1975. Alberto Del Rio, or Alberto El Patron, he was born in 1977. Roman Reigns had a birthday. He was born in 1985. And rounding out birthdays, Bo Dallas. He was born in 1990. Another mishap for advertising from WWE. This time it's on YouTube. It says Table for Three episode can be found at this link. Featuring Hall of Famer Edge, Christian, Matt Hardy, and Jeff Hardy. Regarding WWE signing a new wrestler from New Zealand named Toni Storm, her new deal is a WWE UK contract only, not one for WWE NXT. The same goes for just about all of the talents that have recently signed UK deals. No word yet on if Storm will be working the Mae Young Classic or making any NXT appearances, but she is advertised for the WWE UK title tournament events on June 18th. And June 19th in London. Storm worked last year's tournament and lost to winner Kairi Sane in the semifinals. And I'll show you a picture during my little introducing. That's Toni Storm. Axis Smash of Demolition appeared on Prime Time with Sean Mooney to talk about if they wanted to be in the WWE Hall of Fame and how much it would take for them to go into the induction. Smash started off by saying, with so many teams out there, he's not sure if they will even get a shot. And you can find out about that. And also says, who knows? We may never get in because there are so many tag teams out there. He continued with a hypothetical that if we were inducted, he wouldn't mind getting a tidy sum of $100,000 to make the trip. If they asked us, what would we really do now? Smash question. It's been 20 years since we've been around the business. And the guys make supposedly $5,000 or $6,000 when they go to WWE Hall of Fame. You know, it would take probably $100,000 at least to bring us in for the Hall of Fame. I thought, what a good number, because I'd give $10,000 to my mother-in-law's church. I'd take another $10,000 of that $100,000 to give to my son. He's a deputy in the sheriff's department in the K9 unit, and I'm thinking of all these charities I'd give to. The former tag team champions were then asked about doing it just for the fans, who have voiced loudly that Demolition should be in the Hall of Fame. Axe said, in appreciation of the fans for being loyal, but ultimately it's out of their control. A lot of people come up and say the same thing, and we appreciate their loyalty and being fans of ours. Axe said, just remembering that we were in the business and remembering things that made an imprint on their life. It would be a nice footnote. We have no control over it. If we get in, great. If we don't get in, we're not going to lose any sleep over it. So that's where we stand. Impact Wrestling star John Hennigan, a.k.a. Johnny Impact, in WWE is the name of John Morrison. Also in TNA, Johnny Mundo on the Lucha Underground. He will be appearing in the new season of CBS Survivor, titled Survivor, David vs. Goliath. You can check out a preview at this link of the new season in that video. And it appears at about 1 minute 14 seconds mark as Goliath. It's also season 37. He comments and says, I'm fast as a Corvette and big as a Hummer. Hennigan said, millions of wrestling fans know me as Johnny Mundo, the mayor of Slamtown. I've been champion of every organization I've worked for. I'm something extraordinary. Survivor host and showrunner Jeff Probst spoke to Entertainment Weekly and referenced Hennigan when discussing coming up with the idea of the new season. I remember a day when this guy Christian came in and he told us his story, which was about that he has always been a nerd when he was a kid. I had to overcome social awkwardness with his entire life, Prof said. He was picked on, and you can see it in how he carries himself. His body language is almost like he has to get permission before he speaks. So he was, in many ways, this personification of a David. He had been overcoming obstacles his entire life. And what nobody would ever suspect is that he was now a robotics engineer. And in the right situation, that intelligence and the education could be his secret weapon. And then we had a guy that was a popular opposite. This guy that's known as Johnny Mundo, a.k.a. John Morrison, the mayor of Slamtown. He's a professional wrestler. He's gigantic, he's charming, and he's smart. He started with advantage. He had a great family, and he used all these skills to slay everybody his entire life. So we looked at those two and went, we might be at a point where we could actually commit this, because the big risk is feeling enough confidence in the format and the idea to pit these seemingly lopsided groups against each other. Because if you're wrong, it's a blowout. If you're right, it could be a fascinating study. The theme that we kept coming back to is when you are on the island and you don't know what to expect, it doesn't matter whether you were born with your advantage or had to work for it, because everybody knows that every David has a secret weapon and every Goliath certainly has their Achilles heel. And that's what Survivor will bring out. It will bring you to your knees and it will lift you to your highest heights. It's all about context and situation and how you respond. Last night's NXT episode saw Lacey Evans pick up a big win over Kairi Sane, and you can see it in this link. And it's a post-match video of Lacey talking to Sarah Schreiber. As Lacey says, the win is huge and she doesn't know what it will mean for her career, but she doesn't care where the other women have trained or been, because she has a woman's right of her own, which has every one of their names on it. Sasha Banks has recently signed a new deal with WWE, according to at Russell Votes account on Twitter, which has broken several WWE scoops in the past. The deal was signed within the last week or so, and is for multiple years. Suspectedly about 5 years. Sasha continues to move a good amount of merchandise for the company. It's worth noting that Big Cass is walking with a noticeable limp backstage at SmackDown. At the taping, reported by PW Insider, it's possible Cass is trying to work the other talents backstage, but it looks like he could be dealing with some sort of actual knee injury. Also noted, Cass spent the recent European tour selling last week's beatdown from Daniel Bryan. WWE posted an article and video on how he needed to be helped to the back at Sunday's live event in Munich, the final Blue Brand show of the tour. Cass was pulled from the Money Back qualifier match with Samoa Joe due to what happened to the storyline injury. That was announced on Monday. The Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, will be free agents by the end of the year. The brothers had signed a 2-year deal in late 2016, keeping them in New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Nick Jackson's reaffirmed their contract status on Twitter this morning, as you can hear below. Manish the Rink commented to him at Rink_the commented to Nick Jackson, YB, I'm waiting to see you in WWE. Please come soon, ASAP. Well, the Young Bucks tweeted at Nick Jackson, YB, not possible right now. We have 6 months left on our current contracts. Never say never, but we're very happy with what we're doing. While the Bucks will be free to sign with WWE by the end of the year, they have recently indicated that they are currently not interested in signing with the world's largest wrestling promotion. During a recent interview with Chris Jericho, Matt said that it would be kind of dumb to sign with WWE at this stage of their careers. If we left right now for WWE, it would be kind of dumb of us because they couldn't pay us what we're making now, not what the schedule we're on to. There's no way, Matt said. Of course they could afford to pay. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think they would. Nick told Jericho that while a future WWE run is not something they can answer because they don't know the future, it will always be a lingering question for them and Kenny Omega if they don't ever end up signing with them. Of course, they all are with the Bullet Club. It's always going to be a question, no matter how big we get. It will always be a question that lingers in our career. I think, as well as Kenny, because the three of us, well, he went to WWE Developmental for a bit, but people don't remember that. I don't even know if that counts as a WWE run, but it will always be a question. The way we're going, we could probably quit in 5 years, Nick said. At this point, WWE is not a goal. We don't need it. It was a goal for sure. For our first 8 years, that was the goal. Into their statements. Ring of Honor announced a TV taping in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for August 25th. WWE Hall of Famer Edge and Christian were busy filming new episodes of the Edge and Christian Show this week with Kerry Sane, Joe Funaki, WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix. Of course, that's Edge's wife, and others. The EW Insider notes that they are said to be more fun cameos on the next season, including appearances from Tommy Dreamer and Johnny Gargano, among others. There will be one scene that is related to the classic Police Academy film. No word yet on when the second season will premiere on the WWE Network, but production is set to wrap later this week. Dolph Ziggler will appear with WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley at the House of Comedy in Phoenix, Arizona. This Thursday night, Ziggler's merchandise sales will go to support the Wounded Warriors Project. Former WWE ring announcer Justin Roberts will be hosting the event, which is part of Foley's current 20 Years of Hell tour. Ziggler and Foley tweeted the following on the appearances. At Heel Ziggler, hey gang, see it real Mick Foley and me at House of Comedy AZ. This Thursday, 100% of my merchandise sales go directly to the Wounded Warriors Project. At WWP. At Real Mick Foley. Just 12 tickets left at #Phoenix for Thursday's show at House of Comedy AZ. Get them now at realmickfoley.com/events. Jason Jordan is scheduled to be in attendance for Monday's Raw in Richmond next week. According to PW Insider, Jordan was backstage at Raw in Long Island a few weeks back and is expected to return to work for the company soon. Jordan has been away from WWE since undergoing neck surgery in early February, and there's been some speculation on Jordan reuniting with Chad Gable to reform American Alpha on Raw, but that has not been confirmed. Well, that was my prediction anyways. Rock tweeted the following today to reveal the new trailer for his Skyscraper movie that hits theaters on July 13th. Can be found in this link. At The Rock, he commented, I made a movie that pays homage to films that inspired me and generation with grit, guts, and heart. Die Hard, The Towering Inferno, and The Fugitive. One of the most anticipated movies of the summer. It's probably going to be like MacGruber. If they're going to throw the comedies in there. Edge and Christian's pot of awesomeness. Pro wrestling veterans, Edge and Christian caught up with Ring of Honor's Cody, formerly Cody Rhodes in WWE. Among many other things, Cody talked about owing a life debt to legendary Rey Mysterio, learning about hard work in WWE, being jealous of legacy stablemate Ted DiBiase Jr., and the impetus for leaving WWE in 2016. Apparently, Cody feels that he owes a life debt to Rey Mysterio for telling WWE Chairman Vince McMahon that he wanted to work the grandson of a plumber at WrestleMania. I have a Wookiee life debt to Rey Mysterio, and he doesn't even know it. Quote unquote. Cody continued, also quoted, Rey was kind of the one who rigged me and brought me into the office that day with Vince McMahon and said, I want to work Cody at WrestleMania. He has got some good ideas. And I did, thank God. And that's where I think Vince kind of even played me. He said, like, oh, do you have it on paper? And I actually had it on paper in my bag, and I handed it to him. And after that, he kind of just grumbled, and I got a yes out of that grumble. I owe Rey everything I have, man. He doesn't even know. Well, if Rey watches my videos, he'll know. And he doesn't even spell my name right. Codey. That's got to be a rib. Cody admitted that he was incredibly jealous of Ted DiBiase Jr. and had to stop feeling like he had to compete with him, as well as other young WWE superstars occupying the mid-card. If you're not familiar with the legacy, the other partner was Randy Orton. On the subject of leaving WWE, Cody revealed that it was a difficult decision given the relationships he had with many people involved with the company. Leaving WWE was really difficult, but it was also the easiest decision I ever made. It was difficult because I had a family. 19 years old, I go to OVW, and I have my friends. And I have little Zack Ryder. He's still there. I have Dustin Runnels. Not familiar, but Goldust. Cody said, I've got family there, and I've got Arn Anderson, who Arn is a huge part. All of these people, whatever. And that was hard not tell them because this was a decision I had to make. During the podcast, Cody explained that he wanted to stop being Stardust following the passing of Cody's father, WWE Hall of Famer Dusty Rhodes. WWE brass seemed receptive to Cody going back to the Cody Rhodes character, yet it seemed like empty words said so much without a plan. I wanted to go back to being Cody Rhodes. Cody progressed. Vince was being receptive to it. Hunter was being receptive to it. The problem was they were taking too long. And my dad had just passed away. It may have been a minute, but he passed away. And there was some inner turmoil. And when you have that inner turmoil, the last thing you want is turmoil at work. I think I just couldn't handle it. And it was sad. It was sad to put on that suit. It was like being a sad clown, literally. It was sad. And I knew they were receptive and thought maybe this was a good idea, but I needed it now. I needed it now. It just came to, I'm going to leave. You don't get to fire me, but you also don't get to fix me. I'm going to go out, and I'm going to fix myself. And who knows what I'm going to do after that. That's the highlight of his interview. Lana defeated Billie Kay on this week's edition of SmackDown to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now here's a post-match video of Josh Fentez talking to Lana and Aiden English, who was at ringside for the match. Lana gives thanks to English and says, this isn't just a dream. It will be a historic moment as she and Rusev become the first Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. English agrees this will happen because Lana is the best. Lana's number one. Lana leaves with English to end the segment. No word yet on where Rusev was during the show. Miz tweeted the Miz and Mrs. hype after his win over Big E on this week's SmackDown. As noted, the opening Miz TV segment saw the Miz reveal that his Miz and Mrs. docu-series on the USA Network will premiere after SmackDown goes off the air at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on July 24th, head-to-head with 205 Live. The Total Divas spinoff will air over 6 30-minute episodes and will follow Miz and Maurice as they prepared to become parents with footage from WrestleMania 34 week and other WWE events prior to that. And you can go to twitter.com/USA_network for that link on that. At Mike the Miz, exclusive. Hashtag Miz and Mrs. has a debut date, July 24th on USA Network at 10 p.m. Today was a big day for at Maurice Mizanin and I. Hashtag SD Live started with the announcement of the newest and most must-see show on TV. Hashtag Miz and Mrs. And then I scored a win on the road. 2. Hashtag Money in the Bank. Hashtag I'm awesome. Well, guess who was also in movies? Zack Ryder is being featured in the new Making Fun Netflix documentary on Funko. You can see the Raw superstar in this trailer. Right there. Any comments on Twitter? Hashtag Making Fun the movie is now on at Netflix. Check it out. You might even see me. Okay, you definitely will. At Original Funko. Dark match before SmackDown in Worcester, Massachusetts saw SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella retain her title over Becky Lynch. This was said to be a good back-and-forth match that saw Carmella win with a roll-up. SmackDown opened up from the DCU Center in Worcester. Tom Phillips welcomes us. He joined in with Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. They hyped the show, and Graves sends us to the ring. Miz is already in the ring for another must-see edition of Miz TV. He gives a shout-out to the Cleveland Cavaliers and announces that the Miz and Mrs. docuseries will premiere on the USA Network at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after SmackDown goes off the air on July 24th. Miz goes on and introduces tonight's guest, The New Day. Out comes Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E with pancakes. I had better luck on SmackDown than I did on Raw, actually seeing it on the stream. New Day indicate that they won't be tuning into Miz's show on the network. He wants to find out who they will be sending into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, but they respond with shenanigans. Miz admits that they have found success together, but he says they hold each other back. Miz finally loses his temper, and they keep playing games. Miz says he can't beat any of them any day of the week, or he can beat any of them any day of the week. Kofi indicates that Big E will be going into the match, but they inform him that they were talking about something else. A match with Miz right now. Miz says if he doesn't get what he wants, they don't get what they want. No match. Miz says he will see one of them at Money in the Bank. They start shaming him, and the crowd joins in the shame chants. Miz retreats as the New Day throwing pancakes at him. And we see the Miz run into SmackDown General Manager backstage Paige. He looks up upset, but says nothing. She gets it. Not everyone likes pancakes, and she even says that. He says that's not funny. She tells him to go beat any member of the New Day, like he just said he can do. Paige hurries Miz back to the arena as the New Day awaits in the ring. Miz hesitates on the stage and we go to commercial. And we get Big E as the chosen one versus the Miz. Back from the break, and the match is underway. Xavier is on commentary. Kofi looks on from ringside as Big E gets the upper hand on Miz and taunts him. Right off the bat, Miz up luring Big E and turning it around. Big E overpowers and applies an abdominal stretch. Fans pop and chants along as Big E spanks Miz. Big E drops Miz with an elbow, then stomps away while Miz is down on the apron. Fans continue to New Day Rocks chant. Big E with a big splash on the apron as Miz rolls to the floor in pain. Woods leaves commentary and joins Big E and Kofi at ringside. Kofi pours maple syrup down Big E's throat while Xavier applies Vaseline under the eyes, kind of like it's a trainer for the Rocky movie or something. Woods returns to commentary. Miz slaps Big E at ringside. Big E chases him back in, but Miz gets the upper hand by sending Big E face first into the apron. Miz launches Big E into the barrier as referee counts. We go to commercial. Back from the break, Big E looks to turn it around on the Miz in the ring. Kofi is on commentary. Miz with a flying clothesline in the corner, but Big E catches him and hits belly to belly overhead throw. And then another. Big E with another big suplex as fans pop. Big E runs ropes and delivers another splash as Woods plays Francesca to rally the crowd. Miz rolls to the apron to avoid a pinfall. A pin as Miz tries to roll Big E up, but Big E overpowers him. Miz connects with a big kick Big E blocks the DDT. Miz charges with a clothesline in the corner, but Big E catches him and drives him into the mat for another close 2 count. Miz connects with a knee from the apron. Miz comes in and drops Big E with a DDT for a close 2 count. As Big E counters, they move and looks to make a comeback, but they both end up going down after colliding with clotheslines. Sheamus and Cesaro run out to drop Woods at ringside. Kobe leaps off the steel steps and takes Cesaro down. Sheamus drops Kobe with a road kick. Miz takes advantage of Big E being distracted and hits Skull Crusher finale for the win. After the match, Miz stands tall as the music hits. We go to replays to come back to Miz running his mouth up the ramp as Big E recovers in the ring. We see what happened with Big Cass and Daniel Bryan from last week. Tom says Cass re-injured his left knee on the European tour and is not currently cleared to wrestle. We see Cass backstage on crutches yelling at crew members. Graves plugs tonight's Jeff Hardy versus Daniel Bryan match, which is, I believe, your main event. Dasha was backstage with Daniel for comments on the second match tonight, second chance match. Bryan says it means everything and no one knows more about second chances than he does. Bryan says he now treats every match like it's the biggest of his career. He takes a shot at Cass for getting taken down last week and hypes up the match with Hardy tonight, giving major praises to Hardy. Bryan says Jeff is a very difficult mountain to climb, but he loves a good challenge and will make a legend tap out tonight. We see Lana backstage getting ready for her match with Billie Kay as commercials. Money in the Bank qualifying match, Lana versus Billie Kay. Back from the ring, out comes Aiden English to the stage. He raps and sings an introduction for the most ravishing member of Rusev Day. English gets Lana is the best. Lana's #1 chant going as Lana makes her way to the ring. We see the ladder set up near the entrance, while Money in the Bank briefcase hanging high above the ring. Greg Hamilton does the formal ring introductions. The Iconics are out next. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. I myself didn't care to watch this match. I took a bathroom break and to get me something to eat and drink. Iconics take the mic on the ramp and mock English, who is at ringside with Lana. Rusev is still in the back. Fans boo and chant for Rusev Day as the Iconics prepare for a duet. And Lana waits in the ring. They sing a quick song about Lana being a loser as the heat continues. They say SmackDown will be iconic once they win Money in the Bank. Billie finally hits the ring and as the referee calls for the bell. English calls for attention in the mic and raises a large Lana Day. Before they lock up, fans cheer. Peyton comes over and yells at English. Billie joins her ringside. Peyton slaps Aiden. Lana comes and takes out Peyton, sending her into a barrier. Billie attacks Lana and brings her back into the ring. Lana meets Billie with a big kick to the face as soon as she enters the ring. Lana yells Machka and drops Billie with a face buster for the easy win and Money in the Bank ladder match spot. After match, Lana celebrates with English as the music hits. Fans cheer her on as she hits the corner to pose. So it comes segment, Usos versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to crown the new #1 contenders. Zelina Vega is backstage with Andre the Cien Almas. She talked about how he's traveled the world to make his name and always received VIP treatment. I didn't see this one because I was still in the bathroom. That's how fast the previous match was. Maybe a minute and a half. Always received VIP treatment, the finest of everything, cars, food, and competition. She complains about how he was treated for last week's debut and says he is the future of SmackDown. Vega says if Almas doesn't get what he deserves, they will just take it. Graves shows us a graphic hyping Almas in action next. Back to commercial, he makes his in-ring debut against an unnamed enhancement talent. Back from the break, out comes Andre Cien Almas with Zelina Vega. An unnamed local enhancement talent awaits in the ring. The bell rings and Almas laughs at his opponent before attacking him and beating him down. Vega barks orders from ringside. Almas controls for several minutes. The jobber tries to fight back and turn it around, but Almas floors him with a huge elbow. Almas hits the double knees in the corner and stands tall as some fans boo. Almas with another set of double knees in the back of the neck. Now as Vega calls for Almas to finish his opponent, Almas hits a hammerlock DDT and covers for the easy win. After the match, Almas stands tall with Vega as the Maka's opponent, and they have their arms raised as his music hits. And we see what looks like Asuka backstage wearing her mask, but it's actually SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella. Dasha is there to interview her about the upcoming match with Asuka. Carmella starts off and says it does seem like there's an expiration date on her title reign, but she stops and psychs Dasha out. Carmella calls Dasha a hater. She goes on and once again brags about beating Charlotte Flair twice and explains how this means she's 2 times as good as Asuka. Carmella says she sees through Asuka's tricks, and if anything, Asuka should be better than her. Carmella says she will moonwalk all over Asuka at Money in the Bank and continue to prove that Mela is money. And she even commented on Twitter about a comment about something, and I commented back. So I quoted Road Dogg. Oh, you didn't know? You don't make as much money as who you said. She posted pictures and stuff. A picture of all the names and actors that she said that she makes more money than. Okay. Silicone segment. Shinsuke Nakamura will reveal the stipulation for his WWE title shot at Money in the Bank. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Renee is in the ring. She introduces AJ Styles. Out he comes to a pop. AJ hits the ring. The fans cheer for him. Renee introduces AJ's Money in the Bank challenger. Next, and out comes Shinsuke Nakamura. And guess what? He's speaking English. AJ is ready to get down to business, but Nakamura tells him to relax and think about why Nakamura is able to pick the stipulation for his match. We see video from last week's Nakamura vs. Styles non-title match, which Nakamura won. AJ says that was real smooth, and Nakamura better enjoy it because it will never happen. Nakamura interrupts and tells AJ to shut up. He will not just defeat AJ, he will dishonor him. Nakamura says AJ will never recover. AJ's title is his. Nakamura says AJ's house is now his house. AJ says this sounds like the last match he will never have. So let's hear the stipulation. Nakamura says the match will be a pillow fight. AJ says he always knew Nakamura was the king of soft style. Nakamura says he jokes because he has the upper hand, but AJ jokes because he is afraid. Nakamura goes on and says he looks AJ in the eye, but all he wants to do is hit him with a knee to the face. Nakamura tries to get the knee to the face chant going. AJ shuts him up and says the stipulation doesn't matter because Nakamura can't beat him anyways, which is why he takes these cheap shots. AJ says he thinks he can speak for everyone else when he says this isn't the Nakamura we wanted on SmackDown. Nakamura can pick any stipulation he wants, but it still won't put Nakamura on an even playing field. AJ says he will see Nakamura Money in the Bank. Nakamura swings as AJ blocks it and decks him. They go to the floor. AJ counters, sending Nakamura over the barrier into the timekeeper's area. AJ clears the announce table, but Nakamura comes over with a steel chair shot. AJ blocks another shot and sends Nakamura back over the barrier into the crowd. AJ fights Nakamura through the crowd and back to the ringside area. Keeping control, AJ leaps off the barrier, but Nakamura knocks him out of the air with a chair. Nakamura plays the crowd for heat now. Nakamura with a big knee to the gut gets the apron. Nakamura with more offense on the floor before leaving AJ laying, including a Kinshasa. Nakamura stands on top of the announce table and reveals the stipulation. AJ stands in his face. Last man standing. Nakamura stands on top of the announce table and poses as his music hits. We get replays. Nakamura taunts AJ before walking off. So the come segment. Usos versus Gallows and Anderson to crown the new number 1 contenders. Back to commercial. Back from the break, both teams are in the ring. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson say they respect the Usos, but with all due respect, they failed when they had a shot at SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Bludgeon Brothers. They go on about Money in the Bank, but Jey Uso snatches the mic from Anderson. Jey says this isn't Japan or Raw. This is SmackDown where the Usos reside. Jey and Jimmy Uso welcome the Good Brothers to the Uso Penitentiary. Anderson says he doesn't see any wardens. He just sees a couple of nerds. A couple of them, he hesitates. They look at each other, but they both say nerds at the same time. The ball kicks off as Anderson is dumped to the floor, and Gallows is double teamed. They go to the floor and bring it back in, but Gallows next to Jay. The bell finally rings for the actual match to start. Gallows unloads on Jay in the corner. More back and forth between the two teams for a few minutes. The Usos run the ropes for a big dive to the floor, taking down Gallows and Anderson. The Usos stand tall on the floor as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Anderson is in control of Jay, knocking Jimmy off the apron. Anderson with a big leaping kick in the corner for a pop. Anderson goes off the top with a neck breaker for a close 2 count. Anderson with more offense until he runs into a kick from Jay. Jay goes to the top, but Anderson kicks him and crotches him. Anderson climbs up, but Jay headbutts him into the apron. Jay rolls through from the top, but drops Anderson with a kick. Gallows tags in, but misses a splash in the corner. The Usos with double kicks in the corner. Jimmy ends up dropping Gallows with a kick, while Jay leaps off the top with a superfly splash. Gallows kicks out at 2. Anderson is sent back out to the floor. Usos climb opposite corners for the double splash on Gallows, but Anderson takes Jimmy out from up high. Gallows goes at it with Jay and floors him with a kick. Anderson tags in for the Magic Killer on Jay for the pin and the Money in the Bank title shot. New number 1 contenders, the Club. After the match, Gallows and Anderson celebrate. Extra music hits. We see what happened with AJ Styles and Nakamura. Their last man standing match is confirmed for Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank qualifying match, again for the ladies. Naomi versus Sonya Deville. We go to the ring. Out comes Naomi for the next Money in the Bank qualifying match. Final women's qualifier for the blue brand. Naomi hits the ring and we go back to commercial. Back to the ring. Out comes Sonya Deville with Mandy Rose behind her. The bell rings and Deville takes Naomi down first. Naomi resists on the mat. Deville with a quick pin attempt and submissions. We see Becky Lynch backstage watching the match. They get to their feet and Deville catches a kick, taunting Naomi and trying to send her to the mat, but Naomi hits a split, and they run the ropes, and Deville hits a double leg takedown for a pin attempt. We see Charlotte watching backstage. Deville worked Naomi over in the corner and drives a shot into the spine for a 2 count. Deville keeps Naomi grounded with body scissors. Naomi tries to ram her back into the corner, but this leads to Deville hitting a big spine buster for another pin attempt. Deville with more shots in the corner. Deville unloading with kicks in the corner, and the referee warns her. Got the 5 count when you're in the ropes. Deville runs into a boot in the corner as Liv looks on at ringside. Naomi looks to fight back now, but Deville fires back. Naomi unloads with kicks of her own. They both go down, and Deville gets up first with knees to the body. Naomi counters the shot and performs a unique roll-up for the win out of nowhere for the Money in the Bank spot. After the match, Naomi stood tall and celebrates as we go to replays. We come back to her making her exit. Renee backstage approaching Jeff Hardy for comments on tonight's main event. Jeff says he's super excited. Jeff talks about what he can do with ladders and says he will take things one step at a time, as the first step is big to match with Daniel Bryan. Hardy is feeling good, and he goes on and says he's taking flight. He heads off. He's not limping like he was last week, but it does play a part in this match, as you will hear in the finale. Second chance, Money in the Bank match qualification. Jeff Hardy versus Daniel Bryan. Back from the break, Samoa Joe has joined the announcers. The New Day versus The Bar, and The Miz is announced for next week. U.S. Champion Jeff Hardy was out first for tonight's non-title main event. Winner of this match will go on to face Samoa Joe in the final Money in the Bank qualifying match next Tuesday. Out next comes Daniel Bryan. Bell rings and they shake hands before facing off for the first time ever. They lock up and go at it with Hardy sending Bryan to the mat first. They lock up for a test of strength next. Bryan takes Hardy to the mat by his arm and keeps him down. They run the ropes and Hardy ends up hitting a drop kick and more offense before sending Bryan to the floor. Bryan stands tall in the ring as Bryan looks on from the floor. Hardy stands tall in the ring as Bryan looks on from the floor. Perfect time for a commercial break. And back from the break, Bryan is going at it with Hardy in the ring. They collide in midair with crossbody attempts. Both guys are down. Joe smiles from the announce table. The referee counts as Bryan looks to get up first. Bryan with an uppercut, Hardy with a kick. They trade shots in the middle of the ring. Bryan unloads with kicks. Hardy catches the kick, but Bryan levels him, sending him out to the floor. Bryan hits a flying drop kick on Hardy through the ropes, sending him back into the barrier. Bryan leaps with a knee from the apron, but Hardy moves. Hardy comes flying off the apron, taking Bryan down on the floor. Hardy goes back to the apron, climbs up to the top turnbuckle, top of the rope. Bryan comes back up and crotches Hardy. Bryan turns Hardy upside down in the corner and kicks him with the yes kicks. Bryan runs across the ring and hits a low drop kick while Hardy is still upside down. In a tree of woe, you might say. Bryan takes Hardy to the top for a super back suplex. From the top, Hardy fights him off. Hardy elbows Bryan to the mat. Hardy with a whisper of wind for a close 2 count. Hardy waits for Bryan to get up now. Bryan blocks the twist of fate and kicks Hardy's knee out, which is where you get the finish to the match. Bryan nails him with a yes kicks while Jeff is on his knees now. Hardy with a twist of fate. Hardy goes back to the top for a swanton, but Bryan gets his knees up. Bryan swanton, but Jeff crashes hard. Bryan with a big kick for another close 2 count. More back and forth as Hardy goes for 2 close roll-ups. Bryan with uppercuts. They try for the backsides now. Bryan blocks the twist of fate and hits the dragon screw leg whip, injuring the knee a little bit more, taking Hardy down to the mat. Bryan applies a leg submission, and it leads to Hardy tapping out for the win. After the match, Bryan starts celebrating and chanting yes as his music hits, but Joe quickly takes the mic and yells Bryan's name. Joe enters the ring and fails to see why Bryan is celebrating because he has to face Joe next week. Joe stares Bryan down and drops the mic before leaving the ring as his music hits. Joe marches up the ramp and as Bryan looks on from the ring, we go to replays and come back to Bryan celebrating. Renee's backstage with Joe, asking why he's so confident about next week with these strong words. Joe dismisses the strong words talk and says next week Bryan will go to sleep. Coquina clutch is he saying. Joe mocks the yes chant and walks off. We go back to the ring as Bryan music hits, and he leads us to a yes chant and SmackDown goes off the air. And we go straight to 205 Live. Recap of the history between former tag team partner Akira Tozawa and Hideo Itami. We see how miscommunication between the two caused them to lose a match. They will face off later on in the show. Vic Joseph, Dr. McGinnis, and Percy Watson preview Buddy Murphy versus Adrian Alexander. The two will face off for the title on next week's show. Earlier today, Drew Gulak says he's ready to put down another member of the Lucha House Party, and it doesn't matter if you can flip or dive, you will tap out. Drew Gulak versus Graham Metallic with Calissa Listerano. Some of that actually can be seen in this link. Before things get started, Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick head out to commentary and give some handwritten artwork to each announcer. Kendrick says he wants to be the best tag team in the world. Metallic, able to get control early on and send Gulak out to the floor. He looks to fly, but Gulak heads back into the ring. Metallic with a kick to the head and a springboard drop kick to his opponent. And can be found out that late. As Gulak gets Metallic in a true of woe and stops away at his face, he then ties up Metallic in the middle of the ring. Kendrick and Gallagher trash the Lucha Party house members. Gulak gets chopped, charges in on Metallic, and ends up on the floor. Metallic immediately hits a high elevation moonsault that takes out Gulak. Gulak tosses back into the ring. Metallic with a springboard splash, cover for a 2 count. Action right there in that lane for you. Gulak with a big lariat, cover for a 2 count. Gulak gets dropped in the corner. Metallic gets up on the top rope on the other side of the ring. Walks about halfway across the top rope and hits a drop kick. The old school style Undertaker, multiple pin attempts, all 2 counts. Dragon Sleeper finally locked in and Metallic has nowhere to go and eventually tapped out. Drew Gulak wins by submission. A video or segment for Buddy Murphy who says nobody trains harder than him. Says next week he'll become the new Cruiserweight Champion because you can't stop the unstoppable. TJP versus Christopher Guy. TJP wrestles all over his opponent and takes him down with multiple times. Big suplex right to a side suplex. He moves to the apron and lands a float over senton. Guy is able to get in a few bits of offense, but then gets stomped down to the mat. Detonation kick, lands, and that'll do it. Winning the match, TJP. After the match, Dr. Ventez asked TJP about the tweet he made about reaching out to Paige to be on SmackDown. TJP says he was the first champion. He's the best technical wrestler in the world and carried the division on his back. TJP continues that what he just faced is the competition he's getting, then it's clear that what management thinks of him. Earlier today, Vic Joseph interviewed Cruiserweight Champion Cedric Alexander and asked how he's dealing with the pressure of being champion. Alexander says he's gone through a lot already and just another day in the office. His family and friends will be at the event next week, and with them there, it helps him even more. Joseph asked about Murphy's size and how Alexander will deal with that. Alexander reminds him that he had to do the exact same thing when he first got into the division. He wants to exploit Murphy's weight cutting because it's definitely draining. Alexander says he's well-rounded and will remind Murphy next week that this is the age of Alexander. And that can be found in that link there for you. Backstage segment, Akira Tozawa says he respected Itami, but Itami didn't respect him, and that if Itami didn't like him as a partner, he really won't like him as an opponent. And that matches up next. Lots of counters early on. Commentary playing up how well these two know each other. Back and forth chops over and over again. Tozawa goes for a chop, stops, and pops Itami with a jab. Tozawa getting the best of Itami now. Body slam, cover for a 2 count. Itami catches Tozawa with a couple of kicks. Leaps from the second rope and drops his knee down on the back of Tozawa's neck. And that can be found in that link. At 205 Live comments, if he didn't like me as a partner, he definitely won't like me as an opponent. At Tozawa Akira. Hashtag 205 Live at Hideo Itami. Respect me. Itami yells at the crowd. Kick to the back. He sends Tozawa out to the floor. Itami launches Tozawa into the barricade. Kick to the chest. Sends him into the ring. Covers and gets a 2 count. Itami continues with multiple strikes. Mock Tozawa's chant. And drop Tozawa again. Tozawa finally gets some momentum and sends Itami to the mat. He goes to the top and looks to finish off Itami, but he rolls out to the floor. Tozawa hops to the apron, hits a cannonball to the floor. Missile drop kick in the ring. Covers for a 2 count. Action be that late. Itami ends up on the top rope. Drapes Tozawa's head over the top rope. Flying clothesline, pin for a 2 count. Itami with a roll up, kick to the head, heads up top. But Itami crashes him on the top turnbuckle. Itami goes up, and Tozawa swings away on his opponent. Itami with a Falcon Arrow off the top rope. Covers, gets a 2 count. Itami ends up on the floor. Tozawa with a suicide dive quickly gets him back in the ring. Tries for the senton splash. Nobody home. Itami with a running drop kick in the corner. Hits his finisher, and that'll do it. Winner in the match, Hideo Itami. Dark match main event after 205 Live in Worcester, Massachusetts, saw AJ Styles defend his title against Shinsuke Nakamura until the bar hit the ring. Not long after the match even began, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson quickly made the save and stood tall with AJ to end the tapings. If you don't know, AJ was a member of the club back in the day. Okay, that's the end of my results of SmackDown and 205 Live. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters. See what I'll be.